Okay, gentlemen, this is Arash motherfucking Dibazar, and I am on this conversation with Mr. Vince Calvin, and a very special guest, Mr. Nick Hawk, the Gigolo himself, is here, which is quite an honor and a pleasure. I became acquainted with him not too long ago, and I have to say there are very few men, if any, in the world that I would give a shit about to find out anything about them, but having been acquainted with him, I think he's got that life that most guys aspire to, and I'm excited. I'm excited to have a conversation, find out what he's up to and what creates that lifestyle. The reason that I'm talking today is because Vince has been on a 7-day kick-ass rock star fucking boot camp doing what he does best, which is make guys make out with girls and things like that. And he called me today, and he sounded like he was 175 years old with no voice. And he asked if I'd be willing to do this. And me being the opportunist that I am to always make more money, get more bitches, and live life to the fullest, I said, fuck no, Vince, I'm not going to do this shit. I'm too busy. And after a lot of begging and pleading, just kidding, I was like, yes, of course, I'm going to be on this call. So right now, I would like to introduce to you the man himself, the Gigolo, who's got a million projects out there, who looks like a fucking rock star. If you go on his website, nickhawk.com, what is it, nickhawkexplicit.com. Nick, welcome to this podcast and interview. How are you doing, brother?
Good. What's up, guys? And, yeah, thank you for the intro, man.
Okay, we welcome. Nick, I'm going to get right into it because you live such a fascinating life, so many aspects to you, and I'm going to get right into what people want to know, which is obviously people that follow you and know you, they're going to want to know what's new with you, brother. What's been going on?
Well, we just wrapped Gigolo season 6. I can't believe we've gone through 6 seasons already. And,
wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. It flew right by. I've been in Vegas for over 5 years now. I can't believe it. Time just flies. It's been a crazy journey. This is going to be our best season. I'm not always super excited about the show. It is an edited reality show, you know. But we took the direction towards more of an adult comedy. So it's funny. Every episode will have you laughing. And we did a lot of cool stuff this season. I'm super excited about it. And it's going to be the best one, and it's airing in September. I just released a new track called We Fight. It is my masterpiece. It's up on my website right now. It'll be on Google Play, Amazon, iTunes, everywhere else soon. Yeah, I put a lot of work into it. I've been writing it and working on the beat and everything for a couple of years, and I teamed up with an amazing producer to bring that together. I have a 4-page spread in Ink magazine coming out, which is huge. That's going to release in a couple of weeks here. I shot with one of the top photographers on the planet, Sophie Holland, amazing creative lady who shoots for ESPN, and she shot all the Orange is the New Black girls, and she's really on top of her game. And I actually just got some of the shots back yesterday, and it blew me away. Really excited about that. So yeah, lots of stuff going on. Heading to Europe tomorrow. That's why we had to knock this out today.
Okay, let me go a little bit deeper into that because I want to know about Europe too because that's a big deal. But before we get into that, you were telling me about your music and the spread, and it's interesting. Right before this call, about an hour ago, I was in the car with one of my girls, and I was listening to some music, and she looks at me. She goes, "You enjoy this?" I said, "Baby, I fucking enjoy this shit more than anything." And she's like, "Why? It doesn't even sound good." I said, "Listen to the words," and I turned it up, and I said, "The dude who's rapping, he actually lives that." I said, and I live that. I'm a real motherfucking bona fide player of life. I don't need to hear rappers talk about shit they don't do. I said, this guy, maybe he doesn't rap well, but he's talking about his life. And right now, looking at you, I was just listening to some of your music. This is your music. This is you expressing your life in musical form. And so it comes across very different than people just trying to sell whatever record and say what people want to hear. You're living the fucking life, and then you're making music about it. Am I correct in that estimation, or what?
A little bit of that. Well, for starters, he raps very well. I don't know what tracks you're listening to. I'm pretty proud of all of them. Very few people would say
I listened to 3 of them, and I loved all 3 of them. I'm not talking about. No, I wasn't listening to. Hold on, I wasn't listening to your music in the car. I was listening to some unknown guy somewhere. I'm just relating to that. I was listening to somebody who was rapping about what he lived, and then when I was listening to your music afterwards, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. That's one of the good things. That's one of the good things about it. You know, a lot of these rappers, you know, especially the one nowadays, you know, came up with money and everything and didn't really live through a struggle. And, you know, they're not even living the life that I live, you know, at even a minimal extent. You know, they have a little money. They don't know what to do with it. They don't know how to educate themselves. They still don't know how to talk to a girl, you know. And, for sure. That's cool. But, no, my latest track, too, you know, it's my favorite type of music. I consider myself a very inspirational, if not motivational, you know, person, and that's why I decided to do this conference as well.
Right on.
And that's what my music does. I think for the best part, it inspires you. The new track is definitely a track that you want to take to the gym. But you know, I came up. I struggled. I've been there. I've done that. I lived it. I hustled in Hollywood for 5 years before the show, and I stripped. I do the gigoloing. I still do the gigoloing and companion and living it up now. And the hard work paid off. But it was a lot of hard work. That's for sure.
Right on, brother. Yeah, I listened to 3 of the tracks from the old CD, and I really liked all of them, actually. Now, you're going to Europe tomorrow. Absolutely. You're going to Europe tomorrow, and we have to get this done right away. Why are you going to Europe? What's going on over there?
I'm really excited about this trip. I've been planning it for a while. I had to put it on hold because we were shooting season 6. It's something that I've always wanted to do, backpack across Europe. I've seen a lot of Western Europe. I've been to Spain, Ibiza, London, in different parts of the UK, but I haven't been anywhere in Eastern Europe. And I am, first of all, the number one goal of this trip is to finish my book. And the second goal is to clear my head. My book, I'm going to complete the book on this trip, and I'm going to have it done by the conference. I'll have it probably done a month before the conference and everything. And I titled it, it's Nick Hawk's No Bullshit Step-by-Step Guide to Gain Confidence and Reach Your Full Potential. The title may change. It's a long title, but I like it. It has everything in there I need. It's from my approach, and this is what, you know, you'll hear from me in the conference as well. I don't bullshit. You know, I don't blow smoke up your ass. And so it's my perspective, you know, for you to get a new perspective and give you a kick in the ass. And that's what I do when I coach men as well. That's what I do when I see my female clients. And I do the companionship with them. I kick people in the ass. I kick them in the ass so they get their shit together and they live the life that they want to live. They be the person who they're destined to be and reach their full potential so they can take on the world and succeed.
Good. So you said you go and you're going to finish your book, and you also use that to clear your head. And I heard something else in there, which was you've always had this vision of backpacking across there. So you're hitting a bunch of different things with this one trip.
Yes, sir. I'm flying into Bern, Switzerland, and I'm taking a train all the way across the country, and I'm staying at Grindelwald. And I am going to do an amazing hike that day. I'm going to wake up the next day. I'm going to take one of the top gondolas in the world across the Swiss Alps, and do that down and back. Then I head to Venice, Italy for 2 days. I might duck down to Rome. I haven't decided yet. And then I hit Budapest. I'm going to drive through Slovakia and stop there. Slovakia, supposedly, I'm an A-list celebrity, and Gigolo's airs on their #1 TV station there. I get hit up by Slovakian girls all the time, so I'm definitely going to have to stop there briefly and see what that's about. That's got to be pretty crazy. Then I hit Prague and Berlin for 2 days and Amsterdam for 2 days. Then I come back. So,
wow, that's man, that's more than a person does in a lifetime. A lot of times, what you're about to do.
Yeah, it's a crazy trip. It's a lot of stuff, but.
Now, you told me about Gigolo's the 6th season, which is quite an accomplishment. You know what I mean? Like that, people have to understand. If you're going season 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you got a fucking show on your hands. And you know there's a lot of competition out there.
Less than like 2 or 3% of shows make it to 6th season. So yeah, that was definitely a big deal and an honor.
What percentage?
I think it's less than 2 or 3% of TV shows make it to 6th season, which is it's crazy.
So tell us a little bit more about how Gigolo is going for the fans, people that are following along. What would you say more about it? You know, how is it going? How is Gigolo going?
Like I said, it's been a ride. Originally, when I got involved, I was doing companionship for about a year before that, and I was a stripper for 5 years before that. And I still have my company, Explicit Strippers. It's in Southern California, Vegas, and Hawaii, where I book private party dancers. But yeah, when I first started that and first started the show, we didn't really know what we were getting into. Obviously, you know, my agent and manager at the time, I studied acting for full-time 5 years before I did the show. And my manager and agents, everybody's telling me, you know, don't do an adult show and don't do a reality show, and it was both. But it was an opportunity I definitely couldn't say no to, because it's a series on Showtime. And we really had our fingers crossed that we would go, you know, 2-3 seasons, and we'd be super happy. We made it 4, and you know, everything after season 4 is pretty much a cherry on top. So the last 2 were pretty awesome. And you know, the producers, whenever you put a TV show together like this, especially an unscripted reality show, you don't always know what you're getting your hands onto. And
right.
Luckily, the dynamics of the group, it's kind of Entourage Las Vegas, and the kicker is we're all male companions or escorts. And, you know, we didn't really know what we were getting our hands on, but luckily the cast kind of drove the show in more of a comedic approach, which I'm very happy with. I said from day one, you know, it's a reality show. We're gonna have real clients on. You know, you can make fun of us a little bit and have some fun with that. You know, I said if you ever touch on the clients or make fun of the clients in any ways, I'm not gonna be a part of it. I said we have to make this fun. It has to be fun, fluffy, entertaining, and we just took it to the next level, and we turned it into more of a comedy than that. And it's just about every scene. I mean, you can crack up. And I mean, I had a scene with a lady in a teddy bear costume. I mean, how much more ridiculous and funny can you get than that?
That's fucking awesome, man. So it sounds like it's a lot more fun even as you go into later seasons. You're having more fun with it, yeah?
There are serious moments as well, and it's really touching. And there's going to be a couple moments this next season where you might crack a tear a couple times, because a lot of the things we do with clients are very touching, and they have these great stories of how they lost, you know, their husband, or they've been involved in some type of accident that prevents them from doing something, and everybody has a story, man. We try to get that out of them as well, and shed light and promote that as well as we can. But you know, when it's the guys hanging out and fucking around, you know, it's fun and comedy and practical jokes. And
I get it. Okay, good. Now I know that you're going to be at the global conference that we're doing with the SLR conference, and I'm sure people are curious some of the things you're going to go through and discuss during that time. Will you be able to give us an idea of what you're going to cover?
Yeah, I don't have everything set in stone right now. I'm definitely, you know, but the biggest thing I do with clients when I do my confidence coaching, that's what I call it. I sit down with them and we touch on their life, and we talk about, I definitely want to improve their life in as many ways as possible, and that's what's going to help you in the long run, you know, approach and be better with women. You have to improve your life from every angle, you know, diet, exercise, to scheduling your life, to sleeping, to moderation, to unplugging, and being happy and positive, and getting out there and socializing. And that's what, you know, my book, it is a guide to how to better yourself. And in the end, that's how you become better with women and be successful. But the other big kicker is you definitely have to get out there and do it. And when I do the coaching with the guys, after we talk about, you know, what we can improve in their life, and that way, we hit the field, and I make them talk to 50 to 80 girls a night, and just one after one. And I watch from about 20 feet away, and they're mic'd up. We talk about what happens on every situation. So experience is a big thing as well. So I might actually have demonstrations in the class of I might bring somebody in and have them go up and talk to women, and we'll see the different scenarios that develop from that, and we'll discuss it as a class. I want it to be a very open discussion with everybody. People, you know, are more than welcome to raise their hand at any point or suggest something. Or I learn when I do this as well. You know, it's a discussion. We learn together, and that's what I do when I'm in the field too. And it's something that I really love. I'm smiling the whole time when I'm out in the field. I just love it. It's such a blast, you know. And luckily, I've worked with a lot of people who have the right attitude as well.
Oh, that's pretty awesome, brother. And that which leads me to a follow-up question, which would be your clients, you know, your regular clients, people that come to you, men, women, or whatever. What are some? And I know you kind of touched on it, but it's a little bit of a different angle. We're talking about the conference. I'm just talking about clients that come to you. What are some services and things you offer them, you know, that really change their lives, that make a difference for them?
I try to rub off of them as best as I can, I guess, and I really let them pick my brain and get into my brain, and that's why it's going to be my speaking part is going to be a really open discussion. I want people to pick my brain and know how I'm wired, how I think, and why I do what I do, and why I am confident. I have no problem, doing that. So that's a big part of it. Can you say the question one more time?
The question, is that what you're asking me?
Yeah. Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, the question is just a little bit more detailed. Let's say there's a guy listening right now, there's a lady listening right now, and they're like, I'm inspired. I want to get in contact with him, but I wonder what he can do for me, right? Whether the person is already successful or not, or whatever issue they have. What is like a basic thing that you do for your clients?
Well, I try to change their life from every angle as possible. And as I said earlier as well, we do a little meet and greet beforehand before we hit the field and try to see, at what points of their life, they're not happy. And I can make suggestions or tell them to how they could better themselves in that way. So every client is different. Every client has different needs, and that's even with the companionship and with the men confidence coaching and training. So everybody needs something different. So I try to, figure out where I could help them as much as possible in their life. But, I do want to help them in every area as possible, and not just with approaching women. They need to better their life in other ways as well.
I got it. Okay, good. We're going to be wrapping it up real soon. I have a few questions for you that come up a lot when I'm dealing with people. I'd be really curious how you would answer them. One of the questions is, Nick, if you were a superhero, right, what would be one of your powers and what would be one of your weaknesses, like kryptonite? What would be Nick Hawk's superpower and what would be his kryptonite as a superhero comic character?
I've definitely put a lot of thought into that, me being a huge superhero fan, and I collected comic books when I was younger. I didn't really read them, but I love superhero movies. I love flying dreams. I practice, controlling my dreams and having flying dreams in that, and they're pretty amazing. So flying would be up there, but I'd have to say to live forever. I'd be indestructible and I'd live forever. That would be my superpower. That's above. Yeah, I know it seems like a little much, but most people don't. If they had the choice to live forever, most people would say no at first before they put some thought into it. But for starters, I'm an extremist. I like to do crazy shit. I like to cage dive with great whites. I jump out of planes, take my dirt bike out in the mountains, wakeboard, snowboard, do all this crazy shit. So that'd be nice. But to be able to live a long, healthy life, and if my superpower would be to live forever, I think I could, help a lot more people that way. Even though, breathing underwater or flying or being invisible, those would be amazing things as well. But I would pick to be indestructible in some form and live forever. Something like a Wolverine's power, I guess. Maybe not forever, but a long-ass life,
Yeah, I get it. And what would be your kryptonite?
What would be my kryptonite? What I would pick the kryptonite? Something that I'm never around, I guess.
Something what?
Something I'm never around. Pluto.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess I don't understand the question.
No, it would be, every superhero, they seem to give a superhero that downfall it has. You know what I mean? Like, they all seem to have that
women? Women, maybe?
Women. There you go.
No, I'm just kidding.
There you go. Okay, brother, to be wrapping up, is there anything that you want to tell people? Is there anything that you want them to know about you, what you're doing, or anything else? We're going to wrap
up. No, just stay tuned. I'm all over social media. Just Google my name, Nick Hawk. It's #1 in Google. NickHawkExplicit.com. Social media, music's on there. Really check out my new track. I put a lot of work into it. It is my masterpiece. It's called We Fight. It's on the second album on the first page. But Nick Hawk on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook.com/Nick Hawk as well. I'm on all of them.
Okay, well, thank you very much for being on this call. I look very much forward to seeing you at the conference. And everybody listening, thank you for listening. Vince, thank you for having this call. And everybody remember that the Global SLR is coming up. Tickets are a sliding scale, so they keep going up. VIP tickets are almost sold out. I promise you from the bottom of my heart, just my word is steel, everybody. I'm telling you right now, if you just came just for my section and you paid $10,000, you still would not be paying enough for what you're getting. Okay, now that is just me. And now I just heard Nick, and we've talked to Hypnotica and Shia and Aikido and this, and I can just imagine. So do yourself a favor. Make sure you invest in yourself. Make sure you take action. Don't sit around. You don't have the superpower to live forever, neither do I, so we got to live for right now. Nick, thank you very much. Vince, thank you very much.
Thank you, and I just want to say I'm super excited about the conference as well, and thank you for having me be a part of it.
Hell yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun, okay? I'm signing off. There's Arash Dibazar. See you guys at the top. Peace.